Now that the data has been validated both on the client and on the server, it is time to proceed with the actual insertion of the data in the database. So first, let's take a look at what we need to do. So in the users table here, I have several fields to take care of. First, the user ID field will be automatically generated by the database. The first name, the last name, and the email are captured by the form, but not the password. So here the password will have to be randomly generated during the form processing script. The comment is captured by the form as well. Now for the isApproved and the isActive fields, by default they will be set to 0. So an administrator will need to approve that user before those values are set to 1. The user role, so let's go back to the roles table here. By default, the user will be a standard user of the site, so the role is 1. So if I return to the users table, by default, that role will be set to 1. 2 is for the administrators, and the instrument is also captured by the form. So let's return here to my form processing script, because before inserting data in the database, I first need to generate the missing data. And the first piece of information that I will generate here using a cfset statement is the form.fld user password. Now we'll make that equal to generate secret key function of ColdFusion using one of the algorithm here, the first one, AES. If you want a more comprehensive reference for that generate secret key function, please don't hesitate to go to the online documentation of ColdFusion. Here I just generate some random string of text to use as a password. Now for the 3 remaining pieces of information, I need 3 more cfsets. Alright, I now have all the pieces of information that I need, all the fields of the database, so I can proceed with the actual insertion of the data in the database. So to do that, I need again a CF query to send some SQL statement to the database. The database that I want to send that query to is again the HD Street, but I don't need to supply a name here because the thing that will come back from the database is not very useful, so I don't need to store that in a variable to actually output something on the screen. So I can omit in this case the name of the query because I don't select anything in that query. Instead, I will insert something. And I want to insert something into the users table. Now, what do I want to insert? I need the first set of parentheses here to supply a comma separated list of fields that I want to insert in that table. So I will go to my table users here and I want to insert the first name, comma, the last name, the email, the password. I just double click on each field here in the RDS panel, the comment, then the approved, the isActive, the role, and finally the instrument. So after I provide a comma separated list of fields that I want to insert in the table, I need to provide the values for each field. And for that I need a second set of parentheses, and I will provide a comma separated list of values corresponding to each of those fields. So the first field is the username, so here is a string, so I need the quotes. And then it comes from the form and it is the FLD user first name. For the last name, so comma, I need again the quotes because the last name is also a string of text, and form.fld user last name. And I do the same for all the remaining fields of the database, for all the remaining piece of data. Alright, so I've done it for all the fields of the database, and you see that for those last pieces of information here, I did not use the quotes because those are not string but numbers. The user is approved is 1 or 0, active is 1 or 0, the role is 1, the instrument is also a number, so I don't need quotes. Quotes are only for strings. So let's save that page and run it in the browser. Now I will supply some information here in the form, so a first name, a last name, an email address, an instrument, he plays percussions, and a comment, this is a test. And I click on join the band, and here you see that the page refreshes and it looks like the form has been emptied. But let's return to ColdFusion Builder and let's take a look at the users table. Show table content. You see that it worked because I now have one more user in the database. It has the ID 19 here that has been automatically generated by the database. You see that the data has been either captured by the form or generated here. A random password has been, you see, generated by the form processing script, and here the user approved and user active is 0, the role is 1, so everything works as expected. But of course, if I go back to the browser, you see that this empty form is not very user-friendly. I should provide some feedback to the user to tell the user that something has indeed happened, and that is something we will do in the next video.